Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we are giving you an XI of players that recovered from disastrous starts to become legends. Let's kick it off. Goalkeeper, David Daheia. David Daheia has arguably had the best Premier League goalkeeping season in history in 17-18, making an average of 4.1 saves per goal compared to Courtois' 1.9. These freak-like performances have seen the Red Devils concede just 23 goals, 3 behind Man City, despite facing 5.5 shots per game, more than the Citizens. But it hasn't always been so easy for the man from Madrid. Earmarked by Sir Alex Ferguson, who missed just his second game in 26 years to scout him personally, Daheia duly arrived at Old Trafford in June 2011 for a then British goalkeeping record of £18.9 million. But he looked like a rabbit in the headlights at times during his first 6 months. His feeble 71 kg frame meant he struggled to adapt to the physicality of English football and was dropped for 4 games for Anders Lindegaard, who now can't get a game for Burnley. But since being recalled, Daheia has not looked back, winning a Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, Europa League title and 3 consecutive Player of the Year awards between 2013 and 2016. Defender, Sergio Ramos. With 4 La Ligas, 3 Champions Leagues, 2 Euros and 1 World Cup to his name, and still only 31 years old, Ramos is without doubt a legend of the game. Despite only being in the La Liga Team of the Year once, he has been named in UEFA's Team of the Year on 7 separate occasions, and for the last 6 in a row. A regular in the Los Blancos lineup for 13 seasons, Ramos has only once made fewer than 40 appearances in a single campaign. The 149-capped international has scored 52 goals for Real Madrid, more than Iniesta, at an average of a goal every 0.14 games, not far off from Ryan Giggs' 0.16 for Man United. But as we all know, Ramos is something of a hothead, with 25 red cards, the most in La Liga history, and an average of a red card every 6.5 games. 4 of these red cards came in his first debut season in Madrid, amid rumours that Florentino Pires was losing patience with his only Spaniard signing of his first spell. But looking at it now, Real Madrid without Sergio Ramos is unthinkable. Defender, Thomas Repka. Thomas Repka was bought by Glenn Roeder to East London from Fiorentina in 2001 for a club record of £5.5 million. Having won 7 trophies with Slavia Prague in his homeland and a Coppa Italia with Fiorentina, much was expected of the 27-year-old, as the Hammers looked to improve on their 15th place finish the previous season. He gained a reputation as one of football's hard men during his 5 seasons with West Ham, and the Czech international certainly set his stall out early. He ended up being sent off against Middlesbrough on his debut for 2 bookable offences. Not the best of starts, but surely he'd learn his lesson though. But no, he earned another red card in his 3rd game. 10 yellows and 2 red cards in his first season, relegated in his second, a lot of people would have called it quits. But not Repka. After the appointment of Alan Pardew, he moved to right back, and such was his legend status, by his final game he left the pitch in tears to chants of Super Thomas Repka. Defender, Rio Ferdinand. In 1995, Rio Ferdinand graduated from West Ham's fabled academy, and after a handful of appearances was sent on loan to Bournemouth, who were playing in the 2nd division at that time. Recalled after just 6 months, he was named West Ham Player of the Year the following season, at just 19 years of age. In December 2000, Leeds chairman Peter Ridsdale paid £18 million for the centre-back, making him the most expensive defender in the world at that time. But his debut against Leicester City away seemed to suggest that they may have made a grave error. The Foxes were 3-0 up within half an hour, with Ferdinand having a complete shocker. Remarkably, manager David O'Leary refused to lay the blame at his door, saying he didn't get a lot of help from those around him. Although Ferdinand didn't stay long enough in Yorkshire to become a legend, he was named club captain in his 2nd year and helped his side to the semi-finals of the Champions League in 2001. Defender, Patrice Evra. In January 2006, Chelsea were marching towards a 2nd consecutive Premier League title, a title they would eventually win with 95 points, 18 points clear of Man United in 3rd. Sir Alex Ferguson saw he needed to act, and duly brought in Nemanja Vidic from Spartak Moscow and Patrice Evra from Monaco, who only had a solitary French League Cup to show for his 8 years in senior football. Evra was thrown straight into the deep end, making his debut in a Manchester derby. This was a Man City that finished 14th 4 points clear of relegation under Stuart Pirs that season. But the left-back was run ragged by a 33-year-old Trevor Sinclair, who scored the opening goal in a 3-1 win for City. Evra was hauled off at half-time. However, as we all know, Evra turned it around to become an Old Trafford legend, captaining the club and winning 14 trophies, including 5 Premier League titles and a Champions League. Paul Scholes said in January 2015 that Evra was one of the greatest players the club have ever had. Midfielder, Graeme Souness. No matter how bad Graeme Souness' debut for Rangers was, I doubt anyone wanted to tell him. Not only is he a terrifying man who had played for the likes of Sampdoria and Liverpool, winning 5 league titles and 3 European Cups at the latter, he was also the manager. Having never played in his native Scotland, Souness was tempted north in 1986, when he took up the position of player-manager. The first match of the season was against Hibs, and it was a complete disaster. Souness picked up 2 yellow cards in just 34 minutes and was sent for an early bath. Souness wasn't alone though. 21 of the 22 players on the pitch were booked in a feisty encounter. His playing career in Scotland was underwhelming, making just 73 appearances in 4 years before hanging up his boots aged 38. But his management was excellent. He won 3 league titles in his 5 years in Scotland and signed Mo Johnston, ending their no Catholic policy. Midfielder, Kevin De Bruyne. KDB has had quite a remarkable 17-18 season. His 7 goals and 14 league assists have propelled Man City 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League in late March. In the words of Pep Guardiola, who has managed a fair few gems, De Bruyne is a special, outstanding player. But it hasn't always been so easy for the 26-year-old Belgian. He was brought to Chelsea in January 2012 by Andre Villas-Boas for £7 million, but remained at Genk for the remainder of the season. Having expected to play regularly over the following campaign, De Bruyne was instead loaned to Werder Bremen for the 2012-13 campaign, but 10 goals in 34 games showed his promise. On his return with Jose Mourinho now at the helm, De Bruyne struggled to get a look in. The 2-time Champions League winner had a star-studded squad to choose from, including Hazard, Oscar, Ramirez, Willian, Schürrle, Mata and Mohamed Salah. De Bruyne was only given 9 chances, and 3 in the league before moving permanently to Wolfsburg. A star now for club and country, Chelsea's loss is football's game. Midfielder, Gabriel Kadiev. Vitar Jerusalem are an Israeli club with a proud history of on-the-pitch success, with 6 top-flight titles and 6 runner-up finishes. But off the pitch, they have repeatedly been in trouble. Their controversial nationalist supporters group La Familia are notorious for their hatred of Arabs, and their pride in the fact they have never had a Muslim player represent them. But that all changed in February 2013, when the club announced their intention to sign 2 Muslim players, one of which was 19-year-old midfielder Gabriel Kadiev. 2 days later, the club's offices were burnt down, with numerous historic artefacts destroyed. The tension before his debut was palpable, but the numerous boos were drowned out by chants of support when he entered the pitch on 80 minutes. Violence and racism not on our field read one banner. A 19-year-old had triumphed over vile racism. What a legend. Forward, Lionel Messi. I bet you didn't see this one coming, but Lionel Messi, who has won 8 La Ligas, 5 Champions Leagues and 5 Ballon d'Ors, hasn't always had it so easy. Whilst Messi's club career started as smoothly as you would expect for someone so incredibly talented, with 9 goals in his first 34 appearances, his debut for Argentina was nothing short of a disaster. On the 17th of August 2005, Messi was brought on 63 minutes into the Albiceleste friendly against Hungary. By the 65th minute, he was walking back towards the dugout, his head hanging in shame after being sent off for elbowing an opposition player. Found crying in the dressing room after the game, Messi vowed to come back even stronger. In his second game back, he showed what was to come as he won a crucial penalty against Peru, after which manager Jose Pekerman described him as a jewel. Despite the unrelenting pressure of a football-mad nation of over 43 million people on his shoulders, Messi has reached 4 international finals, finishing as a runner-up in all of them, as well as scoring 61 goals, the most in Argentina's history. Forward, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. By the time Zlatan joined AC Milan on loan in 2010, he was 28 and had won league titles in each of his last 4 seasons. The Rossoneri hadn't been Italian champions since 2004. Ibra was to complement Robinho and Pato in attack, and the Milan hierarchy were looking for the charismatic Swede to lead them back to the top. Ibra announced on arrival, "I have moved here to win the Champions League with Milan. I want to win the double." Sadly, things didn't start so well on that front, as he missed a penalty on his debut and went on to lose 2-0. AC Milan recovered to win their 18th Scudetto, finishing 6 points clear of City rivals Inter Milan, with Ibra's 14 goals in 29 Serie A matches a crucial contribution. The following season, Zlatan scored 35 goals in 44 games before departing to PSG, and we all know where he is now. Forward, Robert Pires. Signed by Arsenal in 2000 amid stiff competition for Real Madrid and Juventus to replace the outgoing Marc Overmars, the pressure was on for Pires from the off. Here was a World Cup and European champion signed to replace a fan favourite who scored 16, 11 and 13 goals in the previous 3 seasons. Pires was left on the bench by Wenger for his first game away at Sunderland, so he could see the tempo and style of the league. Pires says, "By the 20th minute, I was already thinking, what am I doing here?" Despite scoring crucial goals against Lazio in the Champions League and Spurs in the FA Cup semi-finals in his first campaign, it wasn't until the 2001-02 season that Pires kicked on with 14 goals and 3 assists in 26 league games, despite rupturing his cruciate ligaments. To come back from this difficult start to win 2 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups, be included in 3 consecutive PFA Team of the Years, and contribute to a goal every 0.5 league games is unbelievable.
So thanks once again for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to click on screen right now, check out one of our other cracking videos, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.